Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. I'm Dylan Hysen, and welcome to the third, I believe, Dylan Discourse, where today I will be giving you an overview of the state of animation in the month of March. This is one of my drive to or from work podcasts. Audio quality not as good as our other ones, although it still should be audible. And this is just me talking on my own, talking into my steering wheel as I drive home from work. This is what I think I'm going to do, state of animation or whatever. It's basically like news items in the realm of animation that haven't been big enough to warrant their own podcast. So I think I'm probably going to try to do this every month. So one of my 4 ones of these Dylan Discourses every week will be just me briefly discussing animation news items that I saw. For this one, I didn't really specifically look anything up, so it's just going to be things I remember. I'm probably going to miss major things. And I'm also going to give my overview of my take on whatever happened, right? So I think you can listen to this regardless of whether you actually know or particularly care about any one specific one of these. It's really just going to be 2 minutes each. Hopefully this is a short 30-minute thing here, giving you an overview of what I think is relevant in the world of animation. Probably mostly American animation, but could be outside of that too. Overlyanimated.com is where you can find out everything about this podcast. And if you like what you hear on any of these, make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, where you can find the link on our website, or on you can search for Overly Animated on your favorite podcatcher. So, what am I going to talk about in this one? Let's run over some things now. Something to note about these Dylan Discourses is I have no notes in front of me. I'm just going based off of what's in my head, so I'm probably going to misremember things. And I'm just going to not remember his term or something. And maybe I'll leave one of these out, maybe not. Things I've thought about during the day that I want to talk about: the new upcoming Voltron Netflix reboot, aka Korra 2.0. I'll get into that. That I think is probably the biggest announcement in the world of animation recently, although that might just be from my perspective. I want to talk about the Finding Dory trailer and that upcoming movie. I want to talk about the success of Zootopia. I want to talk about the state. I feel like there's another thing that I had. And then the state of Steven Universe and the state of Miraculous Ladybug, basically. We do specific podcasts on those, but giving a general overview of where they are. And I think there's... and the new Powerpuff Girls series. Okay, I think that's all I want to do. So I want to talk about that briefly. So, just a lot of topics. I'm going to run through them. I'm going to give you, what's the headline, and, what do I think about it. So, I think the biggest story... And again, I think this is generally anything recently, not necessarily specifically... the past month or in the last 2 weeks. Maybe some of these are from February or whatever. So I think the biggest headline recently, animation-wise, has been that the reboot of Voltron was announced to DreamWorks produced. It will be released on Netflix. And the reason this is big news is that it is the showrunners will be Joaquim Dos Santos and Lauren Montgomery, who were the showrunners, or who were producers on The Legend of Korra. And basically, a while ago, Brian, or maybe it was on Joaquin's Tumblr or whatever, there's a picture of those two along with Ryu, and maybe Tim Hedrick was there, and it was here's most of the remaining non-Mike and Brian Korra crew moving on to a new DreamWorks show, and there's a lot of speculation on what it would be, and it's finally announced. It is a Voltron reboot. I know very little about Voltron. It's apparently a U.S. Japan 80s merge series. I kind of got a Transformers-y feel from it, although I didn't look into it too much. But the subject matter is not why this is important. This is important because it's basically one of the big reasons, and it's not entirely clear why Legend of Korra was as good as it was, especially in the last 2 seasons, right? And why Avatar was as good as it was. If you ask Mike and Brian, one of the reasons they'll frequently, and those are the showrunners of both shows, the creators of both shows, one of the reasons they'll frequently cite is that they just surrounded themselves with the best talent in the industry. And we're going to put that to the test, right? We haven't had a production where so much of a crew from either Avatar or Korra was together. And here we're just taking every producer that is not Mike and Brian from Korra, and we're going to take Tim Hedrick, who is the most significant non-Mike writer on Korra. He's going to be head writer of this new show. Everyone already knew Joaquin was like a pretty special storyboarding talent, especially for fight scenes. So like this is kind of a no-brainer. He kind of ascended pretty quickly. He was just a storyboarder on Avatar, and then he was a co-executive producer on Korra, and now will be show-running this new show. Yeah, if you want evidence of him being super talented, look for the Zahir Korra fight in the Book 3 finale. That's entirely him, and it's incredible, right? So I don't know if it's entirely him, right? It's a process, but, you know. And then Lauren came on at the end of Avatar as a storyboarder for the last few episodes, producer in Korra. Joaquin and Lauren basically serving to revise storyboards, which basically they touch like every single shot that goes into the show runs through them. So they're a big part of Korra, and they'll be running this new show. And then Tim Hedrick, interestingly, if you look at his credits, had better credits like on Avatar. Like he wrote 214 City of Walls and Secrets, yeah, and that episode's incredible, right? So he didn't necessarily have a standout one like that on Korra, although he's a major part of that writer's room that produced some great television at the end there. So this is very exciting. Again, like, I don't even know the content matter, so I can't even talk about that, but just to have this significant of a portion of the Korra crew together, and the announcement cited Joaquin, Lauren, and Tim. And I also believe Ryu was in one of the shots, although I'm not sure. He was also a producer on Korra. So I'm excited to see a full crew announcement. Maybe some storyboarders transferred over too. Maybe I haven't heard of it specifically, but that's very exciting. I'd love to see who's in the writer's room other than Tim. That'd be very exciting. And yeah, just whenever the show comes on Netflix, I don't know if the announcement even said. It's just like instantly, for me, it just goes right along with Steven Universe's like the top tier priority for just things I care about in the animation world and television in general, and also things that we'll for sure be covering. So very, very excited about that. No real details other than that to get into, but you know, there you go. And I await future announcements and maybe eventually a trailer and stuff like that. Going to be very exciting. Okay. That's number one for me. Let's talk Zootopia then, Finding Nemo. So, we did a podcast on Zootopia the Sunday of the weekend it came out. You can check that out on overlyanimated.com. It's kind of a weird discussion. It's not super applicable to a lot of people. We really approach it from, like, I kind of hammer the movie from, like, progressive criticisms of, like, of its, like, metaphors and stuff like that. The review's okay. Maybe our podcast on it. I think that I was a little too non-mainstream in our talking about it. So, in summary, we liked it. I didn't love it, but all of us liked it. Delaney, in particular, loved it. And I'm happy it's doing well. Like, it takes on Prejudice. I apologize for the beginning. I don't think it takes on Prejudice in any sort of super interesting way, but like, it's kind of surface level for me. This is very similar to how I talked about Inside Out and mental illness, but you know, I'm happy that our animated movies are trending in a kind of a progressive moral direction, even if we're not necessarily getting as deep as I would like, you know. So, and of course it's going to take, you know, of course I'm happy with the direction we're taking, even if we're not immediately jumping to like Anomalisa last year levels of kind of depth of storytelling within these type of films, but evaluating it isolated, like didn't love, but I am happy for its success. It's making a lot of money at the box office, and that's the news, right? It's doing very well. I think it was the #1 movie again last week, and that's kind of a big deal, considering that it has a message that you wouldn't... I guarantee the executives balked to whether this would resonate with larger audiences. I assume they did with Inside Out as well, although Pixar's free reign. This is a Disney in general, not a Pixar film, Zootopia. So I'm happy it did well, and I don't want to see a sequel. I think there's talk of that. I'm frustrated. I would prefer to see another original. Disney's animation department outside of Pixar has kind of been on fire recently. So let's not handcuff ourselves by doing a Frozen sequel, by doing a Zootopia sequel. Then we're never going to get a Wreck-It Ralph, a Zootopia again. So let's not do the sequel. And I don't know. Not much else on Zootopia. I still feel the same way. I'm seeing a lot of shipping of the two leads, and I'm still very anti-ship for those two. But friends is enough for them. Okay. Let's talk Finding Dory. Mel and I recently did a podcast on Finding Nemo, a retrospective on that. You can find that. I think it was recently enough. It might still be on the front page on Overly Animated. You can always search for our Pixar tag on overlyanimated.com to find all of Mel and I's Pixar retrospectives. I watched Finding Nemo again, and I was very surprised that... I wasn't very surprised. I knew it was a good film. I hadn't seen it in a while. I didn't remember it being that good, basically. It had more depth than I remembered. It had better characterization than I remembered. It's just a really good movie, even though that's the movie that I always just randomly had playing by substitute teachers in school, or went over to a friend's house as a kid and then you watch this or something. I don't know, something like that, right? It's the most ubiquitous movie to me, and that kind of turns you off from it a little bit, but it's just a wonderful film. And Finding Dory, the trailer, I don't specifically remember too much about it. I watched it a few weeks ago, but I was kind of skeptical. Pixar doing so many sequels and stuff, but I enjoyed the trailer, and it made me more excited for this film, I guess. There's no way this movie's gonna be incredible, but it might be okay. It might be very good. I think it has a chance to be very good. The problem is there's just not enough upside for it to be really, really good. Maybe that's not true, but I just can't think of I can't think of the last animation sequel that's been superb, right? I mean, people point to Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3. And actually Toy Story 3 would be the one that I would agree with. I think that's the best of the three. I'm not super high on Toy Story or Toy Story 2, but okay, so Toy Story 3 was very good, right? So maybe Finding Nemo has a chance to be in that tier of quality, or Finding Dory has a chance to be in that tier of quality as well. Watching Finding Nemo again, it stood out to me how much of an standout character Dory is, so I think that this is definitely the way to go with the sequel. Just hope they don't try to... I just hope they don't ruin this kind of... they're not going to ruin the character, but I hope they don't diminish how incredible this character is via the sequel, because on its own, she would have been one of the top 5 best Pixar characters ever without the sequel. And with the sequel, she's a chance to be top 3 or something, right? But also a chance to throw on some sequel level storytelling to it. So I'm excited for it. I think that trailer was impressive, let's hope it's better than the past 5 Pixar films or something. I'm not as high on Inside Out as everyone, so I'm hoping for better than that. Okay. Those 3, what's another one before I get to the shows that we normally cover? So the new Powerpuff Girls is going to premiere on Cartoon Network next month, I believe. It's not this month. I think it's April. I think it's like early April, maybe the first or second week, and Cartoon Network's going to do their typical crap of airing 5 episodes in 5 days in a week, and then they're going to air weekly. So that's fine. If you do, you can do a bomb, like a Steven Baum style airing, if you're just going to then subsequently air it weekly. I think they're airing it on Thursdays, 6:30, something like that, right? So you could see like Steven Universe new, Powerpuff Girls new on the same night. I don't know if Adventure Time still airs on Thursdays or not. You should probably know that. I think it does, but maybe I also feel like it was on Mondays, so I'm not sure. So there's a clip from this. I think a few more clips have leaked. I've only seen the first clip of the new Powerpuff Girls. Background, I watched Powerpuff Girls when I was a kid. I haven't seen it recently, although I remember it being very good. But that's not my assessment as current Dylan, trying to analyze it. So, the new Powerpuff Girls clip looked very bad, unfortunately. But it was just like a minute or a minute and a half, but it was not impressive. It's going to take a lot to get over the changing of the voice actresses. That's pretty big. The animation style didn't look great. The creator did not transfer over, like Craig McCracken? I don't know. I apologize if I didn't get that right. But he's not the creator of this new Powerpuff Girls series, so these are not good signs. I intend on covering at least the premiere of this show for the podcast, and maybe we'll do that entire week, and then we'll see if it's good or not. But, yeah, I'm not... to me, the show does not look good. But, I'm open to it being fine, right? Like, it could be fun. We'll see. That's such a beloved show that it's very risky to reboot it, but I don't know the details. I hope that they asked him and that he said no, rather than them not wanting him back, Craig, the creator, right? So let's see how it goes. Hopeful, but not expecting anything from that series. Staying on Cartoon Network, Steven Universe, there have been no updates to Steven Universe's, when it's going to work and air new episodes. Last we saw, there's a Steven Baum in, the first week of January, and since then we've heard literally nothing. Before that, the last new episode that aired was in October. So Cartoon Network is on Nickelodeon levels of awful in terms of communicating with their fan base about when the show is returning. They were just getting nothing. It seems obvious that when the show does come back, it will be in a bomb week-long 5 episodes in a week format, because why else would they be waiting this long other than to stockpile some episodes? It's really bad. I might do a larger one of these on the state of Cartoon Network, Nick, and Disney. And I thought Cartoon Network was the best of the 3, but it is not. This is very bad. And you can't just go this long and not say anything to the fans. They don't seem to care that... this is the typical... You could replace everything I'm saying with Nick and Cora. They don't seem to care that the show has a older fan base that makes up a large part of its audience. They don't seem to care that it has a fandom online. These are... it's not just, ethically wrong to ignore your fans. It's also just probably terrible business, because this can't be the best way to cultivate ratings with the type of fan base the show is. It's impossible. So, just bad on all fronts. In addition to that, there have been leaks. The Cartoon Network UK website leaked 2 long clips from upcoming episodes. If you listen, we're doing Steven Universe roundtables now, hopefully every week, and we will not be discussing leaks. I'm not going to spoil anything. I did watch them. I don't even... I'm trying to remember, because it was a few weeks ago. I remember one of them because it completely spoils one of the major upcoming episodes. It gives, the climax of that episode. So please, I'd recommend really not watching these if you can avoid it. Because one of these clips is just so dumb that this is what got leaked. I honestly don't even remember what happened in the other one, so maybe it wasn't that big. But, yeah, they spoil a lot. And does it look good? It looks okay. Exciting things are happening. I'm not sure how good the quality of the clip was, but, also we're taking the probably minutes 7 to 10 of an episode that we didn't see the first 7 minutes for, so it's unfair to judge. So, just bad. I mean, it's not like Cartoon Network executives had anything to do with it, but this is what happens when you just hold a show for so long. Unless you're HBO, and even HBO has leaks, you really can't avoid leaks for a beloved show if you hold it for more than a few months. It's inevitable. It happened with Nick and Cora. It happened now with Steven Universe's episodes, which I assume they've been holding for a while. It's just not going to happen. You need to release them. So hopefully they start scheduling the show again. I mean, I don't know. It's not good. This is like, now that Gravity Falls is over, Steven Universe is clearly the most critically acclaimed animated show on television in America. So just to have it not even clear when the show's coming back is not good. Shame, Cartoon Network, right? I don't know if I have anything else on that. Adventure Time, I know, has been airing new episodes. I am not caught up. I think I haven't seen anything since the miniseries, the Stakes miniseries. I don't even know if it's good or not. I haven't even been looking at the AV Club scores, but I will try to catch up on that and resume coverage in some form for the podcast, although probably not weekly podcast, maybe monthly or written reviews. Star Wars Rebels has been going. I am not caught up on that. I haven't. The last episode I saw was the one I podcasted on, probably December. But I've been seeing some really high scores on the AV Club and some interesting integrations of larger Star Wars universe plot points, so that's pretty exciting. So that actually makes me want to catch up on that show. Miraculous Ladybug. So speaking of networks being the big three being done with their shows, Nick has pulled all future airings of Miraculous Ladybug from the English dub of it from their schedule. Apparently, although Nick, I haven't seen a comment directly from Nick, I've seen comments from the French Ladybug crew. It's not like Nick's pulling the show, they seem to want to preserve episodes, is what it seems like. So they want to extend season 1, I guess, until later in the year. So who knows? If you look on Wikipedia and lists, the Mime has not aired yet. That was the next episode scheduled to be aired. But yeah, the show's just not, they moved it from noon on Sundays to 7 p.m. on Sundays, which I think was a good move, in terms of the show's perceived audience. It's the typical move Nick made with Cora. It aired Saturday mornings, they moved it to Friday nights. It's you should see this coming. Obviously, the show is an older fan base. But then now it's just been pulled, so who knows. In terms of our coverage, I'm probably going to commit to cover the French version soon. We're behind 10 episodes on that, so we'll just start doing that weekly. And I guess we're not covering the dub anymore because I don't want to have to wait for Nick to air the show when the episodes have already came out in other countries, right? So I guess the other thing with Ladybug is that the Origins episodes aired in I think both France and Korea now. And I don't know if those are supposed to be the finales or what, but those are big in terms. The show's just very much the same. You don't watch. It's more of a a SpongeBob than an Avatar. It's not continuous episode to episode. It's just it doesn't actually revert, but they might as well revert to the same conditions. So the Origins episodes would actually be something that breaks that trend, so it's very exciting. I haven't seen them yet, obviously, because I've only seen the dub episodes that have aired on Nick, but that's very it's very interesting that it's very exciting, and hopefully we'll get to those in our coverage of it soon. If you don't watch Miraculous Ladybug, I would say that's one of the bigger shows in terms of animated shows that have large followings at the moment. I think it's the type of show that you can It's pretty light. It's pretty fun. I would say don't expect too much, and just do one a week or one a day or something. I don't think it's a marathon type show because it's the same thing over and over. Ran through that kind of fast. We're approaching half an hour. What else? Let me briefly think of any other news. I don't think we have other animated releases. There's not. the biggest one that there's always some form of animated movie coming out in the next few months. The biggest one I'm concerned about after Zootopia was Finding Dory, which will be over the summer. And then I believe this is a double Pixar movie year. Or maybe that's next year. But it might be the Day of the Dead movie comes out later this year. Or that was also last year, so it's probably not this year. Okay. I'll start to wrap things up. I don't think I have anything else that I can think of. I guess I'll briefly follow up on my podcast. This is not animation related. My podcast last week on the 100 and like the giant controversy surrounding it. A new episode aired last Thursday, and it didn't talk at all about anything that happened in the previous episode. It's like the one that everyone was up in arms about only focused on like half of the characters, so what they did was this next episode it focused on the other half. So we have no continuation of that plot. We don't know how they're going to handle it now. And in addition, the show is on break for 2 more weeks after this week, next week, maybe the week after, but I think that might be it. So to be determined on that. I think the show is going to go in. I mean, I love the idea of the direction the plot might go in, but we'll see how it handles specifically the things people were upset about, right? Because there's possibilities for this not being the end of that character and of that plot, depending on where they go. So we'll see, to be determined. And the show got renewed. That's the other thing. The 100 got renewed. Like, it did dip the tenth of a tenth of whatever in the 18-49 demo. It got a 0.5 instead of a 0.6 or a 0.4 instead of a 0.5. CW ratings are anchored lower. But that would have been enough to renew it anyway, but CW was like, screw it, we're going to renew all our shows. So yeah, just don't. The boycott is pointless. The show got renewed. So the ratings don't matter anymore for the rest of this year. Okay. As I start to wrap things up, I will think of, if I can think of anything else to briefly mention. I'm Dylan Hysen. You can find out everything about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. You can, if you want to comment on any of the things I talked about, if you want to, what did I miss in the world of animation recently that happened, you can give me stories. I'll do one of these in another month if you want to give me interesting things. There's some news about the Avatar comics. I might have mentioned that. Apparently, the most recent Smoke and Shadow. I got a tweet from Melanie Avatar Ray, I think, on Twitter that that came out 2 weeks early. So I'm not sure if that's true. I haven't verified that, but that might be out early. And they announced the new Avatar comics after this current iteration. I'm not caught up on any of these. That's why I'm talking about it generally. North and South, I think, is going to be the next one, which looks more interesting to me than the current one. So that's not actually animation, but it's related to Avatar. So that's there. And, of course, we eagerly anticipate the Korra comics apparently coming out later this year. That I am very excited about, and it's more significant, written by Mike. So that's going to be very, very exciting. Let me know if there's anything you want me to mention for a future one of these, or anything I missed. You can leave comments on YouTube, Tumblr. Not comments on Tumblr, but because I think replies still don't exist, although I don't know the status of that. You can ask literally anyone on Tumblr, and they'll tell you, except for me, whether replies exist or not. You can send me an ask on Tumblr, or you can leave a comment on the Overly Animated website. If you're still listening, give us a review on iTunes to the main Overly Animated feed, please. I would greatly appreciate that. We don't have that many at the moment. I'd appreciate reviews on iTunes. It would help our standing on there. You can subscribe to us on patreon.com/overlyanimated. You can also go to the Overly Animated website and click on the Patreon link from there. And thanks to our current patrons doing this from memory: Shayna, Mitch, Gordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Rachel, and John, a.k.a. Hannah, Fever Mitch, Goddard University, Beatrice Exchange, Buzz Lightyear, Mailman, Rachel Rose, and we've not done John's nickname yet. Still, we will, to be determined on that. I need to start a thread on the Facebook group as soon as to get on this. Very important. Our next podcast is Friday for a Steven Universe Roundtable. If you're listening to this between now and like Friday afternoon, and you have something that you want us to talk about, send it to me, because I haven't decided on the topic yet. But we will see. We're definitely discussing Steven Universe, something from it. And that's it, I think. So yeah, I think I did all my closing stuff. Thanks for listening, guys. I wonder if this is even half an hour, but that's okay. I think better this than giant long like my other one of these Dylan Discourses. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.